You wake before the sun has fully risen, not because you want to, but because the rhythm of village life leaves little room for choice. The air inside your small wooden cottage is cool, carrying the faint scent of earth, ash, and old timber. The fire that once burned through the night has faded into a quiet bed of embers, offering only the softest trace of warmth. It is not enough to heat the room, but enough to remind you that the night has passed gently. You lie still for a moment, listening not to any single sound, but to the absence of noise. The village has not yet awakened, and everything feels suspended in a calm that will not last for long. Your bed is simple, made of rough straw covered with a thin layer of fabric. It shifts slightly beneath you as you move, the texture uneven but familiar, something your body has long since accepted without question. Slowly, you sit up, your movements unhurried, your breath steady. There is no rush, only the quiet understanding that the day will unfold as it always does. Outside, the sky begins to lighten, not brightly, but in a soft and gradual way. A pale glow spreads across the horizon, touching the edges of the Jaravnia with a gentle and distant light. The wooden walls around you remain still, holding the silence of early morning. No voices rise yet, no footsteps cross the dirt paths. Somewhere far away, a faint sound begins, perhaps the distant call of a bird or the quiet movement of someone else beginning their day. It does not break the calm, but gently joins it. You place your feet onto the kulal arthi, feeling the firmness beneath you. The ground does not shift, does not soften. It simply supports you as it always has. The air brushes lightly against your skin, cool and steady, carrying no urgency, no change. You take a slow breath, then another, and in that quiet rhythm, the day begins, not with noise or movement, but with stillness, as though the world itself is waking slowly, one breath at a time. You remain seated for a quiet moment, allowing the slow rhythm of the morning to settle around you. Nothing moves quickly here, and nothing demands your attention all at once. The faint light outside continues to grow, slipping gently through the small openings of the cottage, revealing the simple shapes of your surroundings in soft detail. The embers in the hearth sit low and still, their glow almost gone, yet quietly present. They offer no real warmth now, only a calm reminder of the night that has passed. You lean forward slightly, your movements unhurried, reaching for a small piece of wood set aside from the day before. Your hands move slowly, without urgency, as you place it carefully onto the embers. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, with a faint and gentle response, a thin line of smoke begins to rise, followed by the smallest flicker of light. It is not a strong flame, not yet, but it is enough. Enough to begin again. The air inside the cottage shifts almost imperceptibly, carrying a soft scent of burning wood, familiar and steady. Outside, the village begins to wake in the quietest way. No loud sounds, no sudden movement, only the gradual presence of life returning. A distant door opens somewhere, followed by the soft echo of it closing again. Footsteps appear briefly along the dirt path, then fade. The world is not rushing into the day. It is easing into it, slowly and without force. You sit back slightly, watching the small flame take hold, your breath steady and calm. There is no need to hurry, no reason to rush what will happen anyway. The light inside the cottage grows just enough to soften the shadows along the wooden walls. Everything remains simple, unchanged, and quietly familiar. And in this slow and gentle beginning, the day does not start with energy or noise, but with patience, with stillness, and with a calm that continues to unfold. one quiet moment at a time. The small flame in the hearth grows slowly, not with sudden strength, but with a quiet and steady persistence. It begins to take shape, gently rising from the embers as though continuing something that was never fully gone. You remain seated, watching without urgency, your breath calm and even. There is no need to interfere, no need to rush the process, as everything unfolds at its own natural pace. The light inside the cottage becomes slightly clearer now, revealing the rough texture of the wooden walls and the simple objects placed around the room. Nothing has changed, yet everything feels more visible, more present. The air warms just a little, not enough to be noticeable at first, but enough to soften the cool edge of the early morning. Outside, the village continues its quiet awakening. More faint sounds begin to appear, distant and gentle, blending together without forming any single focus. A cart will turn somewhere far away, its movement slow and steady. The sound reaches you only briefly before fading back into the calm. You shift slightly, adjusting your position with a slow and natural movement. The straw beneath you settles quietly, offering its familiar support. The flame in the hearth responds with a soft flicker, growing just enough to hold its place, steady and calm. There is no hurry in this moment, no pressure to begin anything at once. The day is not something that starts suddenly, but something that reveals itself gradually, piece by piece. The light from outside continues to rise, touching the edges of the doorway and the floor with a pale and gentle glow. And as the quiet rhythm of the morning continues, everything remains balanced, unforced, and at ease, as though the world itself prefers to begin slowly, without noise, without urgency, and without change. The morning light continues to grow, though still soft and gentle, spreading slowly across the village and touching each surface without drawing attention. Inside the cottage, it blends quietly with the small fire, creating a calm and steady glow. You remain where you are for a moment longer, your body relaxed, your breathing slow. There is no reason to move quickly, no expectation waiting for you beyond this stillness. The flame in the hearth now holds its shape, no longer fragile, but not strong either. It burns in a quiet and steady way, offering just enough warmth to soften the cool air around you. The wooden walls reflect a faint warmth, their rough surfaces catching the light in subtle ways. Nothing shines brightly, everything remains muted and calm. Outside, the village becomes slightly more active, though still far from busy. A distant voice can be heard for a brief moment, low and indistinct, before fading into the background. The sound does not interrupt the calm. It simply becomes part of it. A door opens nearby, followed by the quiet movement of footsteps on the dirt path. They pass slowly, without urgency, then disappear. You shift your gaze toward the doorway, where the morning light now rests more clearly, outlining the entrance with a soft and steady brightness. The air carries a faint scent of damp earth mixed with wood smoke, creating a familiar and unchanging atmosphere. Your hands rest calmly, your posture unchanged. There is still no rush, no sudden beginning to the day. The world outside continues to move slowly, gently, without force. And inside, everything remains steady, quiet, and at ease, as though time itself prefers to move softly, without interruption, and without demand. The light of the morning now fills the doorway more clearly, though it remains soft and gentle, never sharp or overwhelming. It settles quietly across the earth outside, revealing the simple path that runs between the cottages. You rise slowly to your feet, your movement steady and unhurried. The floor beneath you feels firm and cool, unchanged from the night before. There is no sudden beginning to the day, only a quiet continuation, as though the morning has been waiting patiently rather than arriving all at once. You take a few steps toward the doorway, pausing just before stepping outside. The air meets you with a calm freshness, carrying the faint scent of damp soil and distant smoke. The village reveals itself gradually, not as a busy place, but as a quiet and steady environment where each movement is slow and deliberate. A figure passes at a distance, walking along the path with no urgency, their steps even and unforced. They do not speak, and neither do you, yet there is a shared understanding of the rhythm of the morning. The fields beyond the village stretch outward in soft tones, touched by the early light. Nothing moves quickly there, only a gentle stillness resting across the land. You step just outside the cottage, feeling the earth beneath your feet, slightly uneven but familiar. It holds you without shift or change. The air remains cool, brushing lightly against your skin, carrying no weight, no pressure, only a quiet presence. Behind you, the small fire continues to burn steadily, unseen now but still present. Ahead of you, the day begins to unfold in the same slow and careful way. And in this moment, standing between the quiet of the night and the gentle rise of morning, everything feels balanced, calm, and exactly as it has always been. You remain just outside the cottage, allowing your eyes to adjust fully to the soft morning light. Nothing feels rushed, and nothing calls for immediate action. The village moves slowly around you, each person beginning their day in quiet and familiar ways. There are no loud voices, no sudden sounds, only the gentle presence of life returning step by step. A nearby door opens with a soft and steady motion, followed by the quiet movement of someone stepping onto the path. Their pace is calm, their posture relaxed, as though the day ahead holds no urgency. You take a slow breath, the air cool and steady, carrying faint traces of smoke, wood, and damp earthy. The scent is subtle, unchanged, and deeply familiar. The ground beneath your feet remains firm, slightly uneven, shaped by many steps over time. It does not shift, it does not soften. It simply supports you as it always has. In the distance, the fields rest under the growing light, their quiet presence stretching outward without movement. Nothing disturbs their stillness, and nothing changes their calm. A cart stands near one of the cottages, unmoving for now, its wooden frame silent and still. It will be used later, but not yet. You remain where you are, your body relaxed, your breathing slow and even. There is no need to begin anything immediately, only to exist within the quiet rhythm of the morning. The sky above continues to brighten in a soft and gradual way, never sudden, never harsh. It simply becomes lighter, moment by moment, and as the village continues to wake in its calm and steady manner, everything feels unforced, natural, and at ease, as though the day itself prefers to begin slowly, without noise, without pressure, and without change. You remain standing quietly, allowing the slow movement of the morning to continue around you without interruption. Nothing calls for your attention all at once, and nothing feels out of place. The light has grown a little stronger now, though it remains soft and even, spreading gently across the village and revealing more of the simple shapes that define it. The path beneath your feet is dry in some places and slightly damp in others, shaped by many days of use, yet unchanged in its quiet purpose. A faint sound reaches you from a distance, the slow turning of a wooden wheel, steady and unhurried. It moves through the air for a moment, then fades again into the background. Nearby, Another figure walks along the path, their pace even, their presence calm. They do not look toward you, and you do not call out, as there is no need for words in this quiet hour. The cottages remain simple and still, their wooden walls catching the light in soft and muted tones. Nothing shines brightly, everything remains gentle and at rest. You take a slow breath, the air cool and balanced, carrying only the faint scent of smoke and morning moisture. It does not change suddenly, it simply exists, steady and familiar. The fields beyond the village remain quiet, stretching outward without movement, holding the same calm as everything around you. Your body remains relaxed, your posture natural, with no urgency to begin the work of the day. There is only the quiet presence of time moving slowly forward, and as the morning continues to unfold, everything remains steady, unforced, and at ease, as though the world itself prefers this slow and careful beginning, without noise, without pressure, and without change. You begin to walk slowly along the narrow path, not with any clear destination, but simply following the gentle rhythm of the morning as it continues to unfold. Each step is steady and unhurried, matching the calm pace of everything around you. The ground beneath your feet remains firm, shaped by long use, offering no resistance and no change. It supports you in the same quiet way it always has. The village moves around you in small and subtle ways. A door closes softly in the distance, while another opens nearby, each sound blending into the stillness without disturbing it. The light continues to grow, though it remains soft and even, never harsh, never sudden. It settles across the cottages, the path, and the open space between them. A cart now begins to move slowly at the far end of the village, its wooden wheels turning with a steady and quiet rhythm. The sound reaches you gently, then fades as it moves away. You pass by another cottage, its doorway open, revealing only a simple interior with no movement inside. It remains quiet, unchanged, and at rest. The air feels slightly warmer now, though still cool, holding a balance that does not shift quickly. It carries the faint scent of wood smoke and damp earth, steady and familiar. You continue walking, your breath slow and even, your posture relaxed. There is no need to hurry, no reason to move faster than the moment allows. The fields beyond remain calm and unmoving, touched by the soft morning light. And as you move through the village in this slow and steady way, everything continues as it always does, without urgency, without interruption, and without change. You continue along the path at the same steady pace, neither slowing nor hurrying, simply moving as the morning unfolds around you. Each step follows the last in a quiet and natural rhythm. The village now feels slightly more awake, though still calm, with small movements appearing here and there without ever becoming busy. A distant voice rises briefly, low and indistinct, then fades back into the stillness, leaving no lasting trace behind. The cottages remain unchanged, their wooden surfaces soft in the growing light, their shapes simple and familiar. Nothing draws your attention for long. Everything blends gently into the background. The cart you noticed earlier continues its slow movement farther away now. It sounds softer, almost lost to distance. It does not rush, and neither does anything else. You pass a narrow space between two cottages, where the ground feels slightly cooler and shaded. The air here carries a faint stillness, as though the morning has not fully reached it yet. Your breath remains slow and even, your body relaxed, moving without effort or thought. There is no sense of urgency, only the quiet continuation of time. The sky above grows a little brighter, though still gentle, spreading its light evenly across the land without sharp contrast. In the distance, the open fields remain still, stretching outward without movement, holding the same calm presence as before. You continue walking, your steps soft against the ground, your pace unchanged. There is no destination that demands your arrival, only the quiet experience of moving through this moment. And as the village continues its slow awakening, everything remains balanced, unforced, and at ease, as though the day itself prefers this quiet beginning, without noise, without pressure, and without change. You begin to drift toward the edge of the village, where the cottages become fewer and the open land stretches more widely. The transition is gradual, almost unnoticeable, as the path continues forward without clear division. The ground beneath your feet remains firm, though less worn here with fewer traces of passing footsteps. It feels quieter, less disturbed, yet still familiar. Behind you, the village continues its slow movement, now softer in presence, as though it is gently fading into the distance without truly disappearing. Ahead, the fields open outward in calm and steady stillness, touched by the soft light of the morning. Nothing moves quickly there. Nothing changes suddenly. Everything remains at rest. A faint breeze passes lightly through the air, so subtle it is almost not felt. It carries no strong scent, no clear direction, only a quiet sense of space. You pause for a moment, not out of need, but as part of the natural rhythm of the morning. Your body remains relaxed, your breathing slow and even unchanged. The sky above continues to brighten gently, never harsh, never sudden, spreading its light in a soft and even way. A distant figure moves slowly along the far edge of the fields, too far to see clearly, their motion calm and steady. They do not draw your focus for long, only passing through your awareness before blending into the landscape again. The path continues forward, simple and unchanged, offering no urgency, no direction beyond what is already there. And in this quiet space between the village and the open land, everything feels balanced, calm, and steady, as though the day itself unfolds without effort, without interruption, and without change. You stand quietly at the edge of the fields, allowing the open space to settle around you. Nothing feels distant, yet nothing feels close. Everything exists in a soft and balanced calm. The path beneath your feet continues forward, lightly marked and gently shaped by those who have walked it before, yet never crowded, never rushed. The fields stretch outward in muted tones, their surfaces still and undisturbed, holding the quiet presence of early morning without change. A faint sound moves across the air, perhaps the distant call of a bird or the soft motion of something unseen. It rises gently, then fades, leaving the stillness untouched. The village behind you remains present but quiet, its forms softened by distance, its movement reduced to a subtle suggestion rather than clear activity. You take a slow breath, the air cool and steady, carrying no urgency, no demand, only a calm that remains constant. Your body stays relaxed, your posture natural, with no need to move quickly or decide anything at once. The moment does not require action, only presence. The sky continues to brighten in a gradual and even way, never drawing attention, never overwhelming the senses. It simply becomes lighter, moment by moment. The path ahead offers no clear destination, only a quiet continuation, inviting movement without requiring it. You remain where you are for a while longer, letting the stillness extend without interruption. Time passes, though it does not feel measured, and in this quiet space between what has begun and what has not yet unfolded, Everything feels steady, unforced, and at ease, as though the day itself exists without pressure, without urgency, and without change. You begin to walk again, slowly and without effort, following the path as it leads gently into the open land. Each step feels natural, unhurried, guided only by the quiet rhythm of the moment. The ground remains firm beneath you, slightly uneven but consistent, shaped by time rather than change. It offers no resistance, no variation that calls for attention. The fields on either side remain still, their surfaces calm and unchanged, touched lightly by the growing morning light. Nothing stirs within them, nothing breaks their quiet presence. A faint breeze moves gently across the land, so soft it barely touches your skin. It carries with it a subtle sense of openness, rather than any clear direction or scent. Behind you, the village continues its slow and steady rhythm, now distant enough to feel quiet, yet still present in a subtle way. No sound reaches you clearly, only the suggestion of life continuing. Your breath remains slow and even, your body relaxed, your pace unchanged. There is no need to hurry, no reason to stop, only the gentle continuation of movement. The sky above holds its soft and even light, spreading across the land without contrast or intensity. It remains calm, steady, and unchanged. You pass a small patch of ground where the path curves slightly, though not enough to alter your direction. It simply continues as it always has, and as you move through this open and quiet space, everything remains balanced, calm, and unforced, as though the day itself unfolds gently, without interruption, without pressure, and without change. You continue walking along the quiet path as it extends gently through the open land, your pace steady and unchanging, guided only by the calm rhythm of the morning. Nothing calls you forward, yet you continue without hesitation. The fields remain still on either side, their soft tones unchanged, holding a quiet presence that feels both open and contained at the same time. The ground beneath your feet carries the same familiar firmness, shaped by long use, yet untouched by anything sudden or new. A distant shape appears briefly along the horizon, perhaps another traveler moving slowly along a separate path. Their movement is steady, unhurried, and soon blends into the distance without drawing further attention. The air remains cool and balanced, carrying no strong scent, no shift in temperature, only a gentle consistency that does not change. Your breathing continues in a slow and natural rhythm, each inhale and exhale blending seamlessly into the quiet around you. The sky above holds its soft brightness, never sharp, never overwhelming, simply present in a steady and even way. The path curves slightly again, though it offers no real change in direction, only a continuation of what has already begun. You remain relaxed, your posture easy, your movement effortless. There is no urgency in your steps, no goal that must be reached. And as you continue through this calm and open space, everything feels steady, balanced, and unchanged, as though the world itself moves quietly forward without interruption, without pressure, and without change. The path begins to lead you gently back toward the village, though the change is gradual and almost unnoticeable at first. The open fields slowly give way to the familiar shapes of cottages in the distance. Your pace remains the same, steady and unhurried, as you follow the quiet curve of the path without thought or decision. The air has grown slightly warmer now, though still soft and balanced, holding the calm presence of the morning without any sudden shift. A faint sound reaches you from far ahead, perhaps the soft movement of a door or the quiet turning of a cart wheel. It does not break the stillness, but becomes part of it. The village appears slowly, its outlines soft in the light, its presence calm and unchanged. Nothing feels different, nothing feels new, only familiar and steady. You continue walking, your steps light against the ground, your breath even and relaxed. There is no need to hurry your return, as nothing waits for you with urgency. The cottages grow slightly clearer with each step, their wooden forms simple and quiet, reflecting the same gentle light as before. The sky remains calm and open above, unchanged in its soft brightness, offering no distraction, only presence. And as you move closer to where the day began, everything feels connected, as though no time has passed at all, and the quiet rhythm of the morning continues without interruption, without pressure, and without change. You enter the village once more, though nothing marks the moment clearly. The transition is soft and gradual, as though you never truly left. The path beneath your feet feels more familiar again, slightly more worn, yet unchanged in its quiet purpose. Around you, the village continues its slow and steady rhythm, with small movements appearing and fading without drawing attention. A figure crosses the path ahead at a calm and even pace, their presence brief, their movement quiet. They do not pause, and neither do you. The air carries a faint warmth now, mixed gently with the lingering scent of wood smoke. It remains soft and balanced, never shifting suddenly. Your breath continues in the same slow rhythm, your body relaxed, your posture unchanged. There is no sense of beginning or ending, only continuation. The cottages stand quietly along the path, their doors partly open, their interiors unseen but present. Nothing calls you inside, nothing pulls your attention away. A distant sound rises and fades again, soft and indistinct, leaving the calm untouched. You continue walking without urgency, your steps steady, your pace unchanging. There is no need to stop, no reason to move faster. And as you move once more through the familiar space of the village, everything feels as it always has been, steady, quiet, and at ease, without interruption, without pressure, and without change. You gradually make your way back toward your cottage, though the movement feels less like a return and more like a quiet continuation of the same moment. Nothing has shifted, nothing has ended. The doorway comes into view slowly, its shape familiar, its presence calm and unchanged. It stands as it always has, simple and still. You approach without hurry, your steps soft against the ground, your breathing slow and even. There is no urgency in reaching it, only the natural unfolding of time. The air remains steady, carrying a gentle warmth that has grown slightly with the morning, yet never enough to alter the calm. A faint sound moves through the village behind you, soft and distant, blending into the background without drawing attention. You pause briefly near the entrance, not out of need, but as part of the quiet rhythm that has guided the entire morning. The light now rests more fully across the doorway, revealing its simple details without emphasis. Nothing stands out, nothing changes. Your body remains relaxed, your posture easy, your awareness soft and unfocused. There is no thought to follow, no action required. And as you stand once more at the place where the day began, everything feels complete, as though the moment has gently returned to itself, unchanged, uninterrupted, and entirely at rest. You step quietly back inside the cottage, the movement slow and unhurried, as though nothing has truly changed since you first left. The space remains calm, simple, and still. The small fire has settled again into a soft and steady glow, no longer bright, but gently present, offering a quiet sense of warmth. The air inside feels balanced, neither cool nor warm, holding a calm that does not shift. You move slowly to sit once more, your body relaxing naturally, your breath steady and even. There is no sense of beginning again, only the continuation of what has always been. The light from outside enters softly, blending with the dim glow of the embers, creating a quiet and gentle stillness within the room. The wooden walls remain silent, unchanged, holding the same calm presence as before. Outside, the village continues its slow and steady rhythm, though its sounds no longer reach you clearly. They fade into a distant and quiet background. Your breathing slows further, each inhale and exhale soft and effortless, blending completely with the stillness around you. The fire gives a faint and quiet flicker, then settles once more into calm, and as everything around you grows softer, quieter, and more distant, the moment begins to fade gently, without urgency, without change, until all that remains is stillness. And in that stillness, you slowly drift into rest,